Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, committee. I appreciate your time. I know you've all been here a long time today, so I appreciate you hearing from me. My name is Josh Waters. I'm an attorney for political strategies and Conduit for Action as our client. I'm here to speak in opposition to HB 1727-26, the combination of those bills. The first point I wanted to make, first, I'm not going to talk so much about what you've already heard. There's a lot of experts in here on the actual funding process. But one thing I wanted to mention is about, what is this being labeled? Is this a new tax? Is it a tax increase? Is it closing an exemption? And we have argued, that basically if something's not there before and it's going to be there after, I think a lot of people outside of here would agree that's a new tax. If it's one amount before and it's more after, that's a tax increase. I think a lot of people would agree to that. There's some, nitty-gritty details. Sometimes you can argue either side. But even if you don't believe me, I would just refer you to a DFNA's impact statement. And they actually refer to this as a new wholesale tax. Not once, not twice, but 8 times in their impact statement. So I want you to be sure, this, I think a lot of people outside of it here will think this is a tax increase or a new tax. The second point I wanted to make is specifically in the bill on page 3, lines 22 through 23. And it states, beginning April 1st, 2018, in addition to the taxes levied in section 2655-205, 2655-1002, 2655-1006, 2655-1201, and 2656-601. There is levied a wholesale sales tax upon the average wholesale selling price per gallon of motor fuel at the rate determined in subsection C of this section. There's already 5 taxes. This would be a 6th. My next point is on this bill is even if gas prices go down, there's a mechanism in this bill that would not lower the amount that, or the tax amount that's applied. The 6.5% would not be applied to a lower average gasoline price. It would use the previous year. And that's on page 4. It's paragraph 2 at line 5. If you want to look at that, but the mechanism, it would use the previous year's rate instead of, or price instead of whatever the price is for that year. And kind of going to my last point, on page 6 of House Bill 1727, there's been a lot of discussion that this, these combined will be referred out to the people of Arkansas. And I think it's very important when you're referring out to the people of Arkansas, you consider carefully what exactly is being referred out. And so I wanted to mention in particular the ballot title and the other language that is going to be presented to the people of Arkansas to vote on, because I believe as written it is misleading and not fully informing them that this is going to be a tax increase. So if you'll look with me in 1726, on page 5, line 5, it says, the ballot title shall be Issuance of 2017 Arkansas Highway Maintenance and Construction Bonds and Pledge of the full faith and credit of the state of Arkansas. Nowhere in that ballot title does it talk about this new 6.5% tax that's going to be applied. Nowhere in that ballot title. Further, it says that what will also be on the ballot is subdivision B2 of this section. If you'll flip back to page 4, line 15, that is where subdivision B2 of the section is. That states, authorizing the State Highway Commission to issue 2017 Arkansas Highway Maintenance and Construction Bonds. If approved, the bonds will be issued in several series of various principal amounts from time to time for the purpose of paying the cost of maintaining, resurfacing, repairing, widening, or reconstructing existing highways within the state and constructing new highways where necessary. Again, no mention whatsoever of this new tax that they will be voting on to fund this. Finally, it has specific language on the for and against. And again, in that section there, I won't read it all, it's about the whole page there. But again, it does not specifically say and let people know they're voting to raise taxes to fund roads. I think there's been some discussion on maybe, most people might want to do that. At least present it fairly to the people of Arkansas. Hey, you're going to raise taxes, it's going to pay for roads, and then they can have a more fair understanding of what they're voting on. But I'm afraid right now what's going to happen is, there's going to be tactics and education programs to get this passed, and it's going to leave out the fact that a tax is also going to be triggered if it's passed. And that new tax is going to be felt by the people at home, as we've already heard about. And so I ask you to vote this down today for that fact alone, and then also consider other aspects or other funding mechanisms that could be used instead of passing this on to the people. There's a discussion about every time you've tried something else, there's been